Hi, my name is Kevin Sheff, and I'm the Retriever Coach. I want to tell you a story. Back in 2003, I began training a dog named Ty. He showed so much potential. He was naturally talented, exceptional to say the least. Ty made it through the fundamental and transition program of the day without much trouble and continued to surpass any dog that I had ever trained or had seen in my career to that point. He earned his U.S. field champion title at the age of 3, something that's a rare feat in the field trial game. Back then, my inexperience, my lack of education, and my overconfidence of the day led me to think that I could ask way more of him on his water blinds than he was ready for. I remember one water blind in particular. It was a shoreline blind, big. The dogs needed to get on and off a point that was en route to the blind. And there was a big crosswind blowing the dogs into the shoreline. As usual, Ty wouldn't handle very well. He wanted to push out to sea and avoid the point. I had finally had enough. I decided to dig into him, ask him to give me more effort. Corrections and questionable training approaches escalated when he wouldn't respond appropriately to my cast. But I was determined to make him do it my way, no matter what. We battled it out for quite some time until it was done. It was ugly. Neither of us felt good about what had happened, but in the end, he did it my way. Was it the right thing to do? Not even close. I ended up paying for those mistakes for his entire career. From that moment on, he had a distaste for water blinds. They were rarely better than mediocre. Although he won a Canadian National Amateur Championship and finished his career with over 100 all-age points, my gut tells me that Ty could have doubled or tripled that number, if only I had known then what I know today. We have to be careful. 1 or 2 training mistakes can affect how your dog feels about the water and how they react to it for their entire career. Not taking the time to be thoughtful, not knowing the right approach to use, not ensuring your dog is adequately prepared for what lies ahead of them, not reacting in a measured manner, not simplifying when the situation demands it, can all have serious consequences. Those consequences include a lack of confidence, a lack of momentum, quirky behaviors, weak fundamental skills, poor responses to pressure, and completely undisciplined behavior. In essence, your dog may never reach their full potential. As I spend time with trainers across the country, I'm realizing that many of them are in the same boat I was, doing the same things, making the same mistakes. Now, some people would disagree with me. Perhaps you've experienced training with someone who said, "My dog is just screwing me over," or "My dog knows better," or "That dog is pig-headed," or "She just needs to be made to do it." I say, pump the brakes. Before you buy into what these people are selling, ask yourself if you really think your dog gets up in the morning and decides to screw you over. Ask yourself if you think your dog is so stubborn that getting kicked in the butt repeatedly is what they prefer as opposed to doing what's required. There isn't one fiber in my body that actually believes these things are true. In reality, we often overestimate our dog's skill level. We don't do enough teaching or recognize when teaching is required. We aren't quick enough to simplify or acknowledge when it's time to look for an exit strategy. The truth is, we don't accept responsibility for the situation we've created. So what's the problem then? Why do people continue to make mistakes when training their dog around the water? Well, the truth is, there is a lack of educational opportunities out there for them. They don't understand what a complete training program with a step-by-step approach looks like. An exceptional water training plan teaches each skill, each standard, and each concept in a logical order. It gradually increases the level of difficulty so that each unique dog is properly prepared for the challenges ahead. It monitors and nurtures a positive mental state and a confident attitude about the water. It ensures that there is a thoughtful, measured response when the dog falls into traps, doesn't meet standards, or makes mistakes. It provides effective tactics for simplifying when conventional training methods aren't working. So listen carefully. A complete water training program has 4 core elements. Core element number 1, a focus on the fundamentals. They include go, stop, come, obedience, and delivery. These take priority and are of primary importance. If your dog fails to meet the standard of performance in any of these areas, you must stop working on the lesson and focus on the immediate problem. A dog that is unable to maintain the standards in these areas is doomed to fail. Core element number 2, mental state. I'm referring to attitude, confidence, and memory. You can have the most highly skilled dog, a dog that fights all the factors and makes good decisions. But if they have a poor attitude or they lack confidence, it's highly unlikely that your dog will bring their A game on game day. They must believe in themselves. They must trust that everything will be okay. They must want to do it more than anything else in order to be successful. Core element number 3, standards. I'm talking about a dog that makes disciplined decisions and doing what doesn't come naturally. These areas of training encompass getting in the water at the proper location, getting out of the water in the proper location, making the swim, and fighting a crosswind. These standards are taught and enforced to encourage your dog to maintain a relatively straight line to the retreat, and to ensure your dog will cast appropriately when challenging conditions exist. Core element number 4, conceptual learning. This area focuses on marking configurations, marking concepts such as two down the shore, bridge marks, diversions, and scent on blinds. This is advanced training and generally requires that all of the other core elements are firmly in place before you move into this area. In my next video, I'm not only going to teach you how to tackle cheating singles, but how the core elements of a water training program apply to the thought process behind them. Until then, happy training.